Check out the weather, what's it like outside? Check out the ground, check out the sky. What word would you use to describe what you see? What is the temperature, how many degrees? Is it sunny when you look outside? S-U-N-N-Y. Is it cloudy when you look outside? C-L-O-U-D-Y. Is it rainy when you look outside? R-A-I-N-Y. Check out the weather, what's it like outside? Check out the ground, check out the sky. What word would you use to describe what you see? What is the temperature, how many degrees? Is it windy when you look outside? W-I-N-D-Y. Is it foggy when you look outside? F-O-G-G-Y. Is it snowy when you look outside? S-N-O-W-Y. Check out the weather, what's it like outside? Check out the ground, check out the sky. What word would you use to describe what you see? What is the temperature, how many degrees?
And while we're at it, let's look up with our eyes, cause anything that falls down from the sky is precipitation. What a weather sensation. It usually starts with a cloud formation. Gas turns to liquid during condensation. Well, that's the scientific explanation. But rain is what you see fall down, and there's other types too coming down in your town, like sleet, hail, or even snow. Precipitation, you should know. Anything and everything that comes from the sky, get your umbrella or stay inside.
Check out the weather, what's it like outside? Check out the ground, check out the sky. What word would you use to describe what you see? What is the temperature, how many degrees?
Good afternoon, first graders. I was just trying to get a few more friends in so they can see our live stream science lesson for today. We can go over our weather tools and types of weathers, and our last weather type that we're learning about today. Let me get a few more friends in, share this link with them. Okay. Let's see. Get these friends on. And then I will go on with our lesson and we will learn about our weather. Okay, so my friends, let's pop on over to our weather slides for today. And we're going to learn about one of Miss Cuyler's favorite types. So my first graders, some of the weather tools that we learned about this last week was a wind vine, and we know that tells the direction of the wind. We have a rain gauge, and we know that collects the rain and tells us how much rain landed in a particular area. We had our thermometer, and that tells us how much weather, how hot it is or how cold it is outside. So let's review our two new tools that we learned on Tuesday. We learned about a windsock, and we know that windsocks tells us the strength of the wind and also the direction. When it's limp, we learned that that means it's not a very strong wind, but when it's flying high and nice and straight, it's a very strong wind. That's how it tells us about our strength. And we learned about an anemometer, and that tells us the speed of the wind. Remember those cups? It goes around, and the computer is hooked to this device and is calculating how fast the wind is going. And now, my friends, very short science lesson again, and then I'll send you. Oh, wait, no, I have to tell you about extra credit, and then I'll send you to your exit ticket. So, my first graders, I have another friend trying to log on. There, hopefully he gets it. Fingers crossed. We learned about cloudy weather and sunny weather. There's our cloudy, partly cloudy was over here, sunny, rainy. We learned about snowy weather, windy weather, and we learned about stormy weather. And we've been focusing on stormy weather these last few science classes. So let's go ahead and learn about a new type of stormy weather. This one Miss Cuyler likes. When I was little, I got to see a couple of these because I lived in Florida. And so you probably already know Miss Kyler's going to talk about hurricanes. And we can look, this is what Miss Kyler used to see when I was little, those palm trees blowing. It's so much water. It's really cool to see, but it's very, very scary too, okay? So my first graders, you may be wondering, well, Miss Kyla, what makes a hurricane? This is science. We investigate, we learn why these things are happening because it's not magic, right? No, it's not magic. So a hurricane happens when the ocean water in a tropical area starts to warm. So that air gets warm, that water is warm, and then we get some cold air in there. And when that cool air is warm and it starts to rise, this cycle will happen over and over again with that cold air and that warm air, and it's rising up. When that keeps happening over and over again, it actually causes a storm. And then that storm grows bigger and bigger, and it's rotating around and around and around, and that is what causes a hurricane. Do you see what's happening with this hurricane? That's why I say it's really cool to see, but it's kind of scary. That's a big storm. That's water that's going around and around and around. You see it blowing all around that neighborhood. My first graders, now let me show you and tell you about how we can stay safe during this time, because yeah, a hurricane can be scary and it can be cool to look at, but if you're safe, there's no worries and prepared, okay? So what are some things we can do if there's a hurricane? Which in Michigan, we don't have hurricanes, but if you're somewhere in the South, like Texas, or Miss Kyler was in Florida when I was little, you would have to know and learn these things. Well, one important thing is to board up the windows. You want to cover those windows with wood so that that glass is not being broken and flying into your home and possibly hurting you or a family member. Also, you want to bring in any outdoor furniture, things that might blow away, because we saw in that video, remember, things were just flying around during that hurricane. And also, you should know if you have to leave your home, an evacuation place, somewhere safe that you can go during that hurricane. So these are all things that you have to plan before, some things that you should have always with you, even if it's not a hurricane. If there's a storm, you should probably have these things too. A first aid kit, some canned foods, okay, and a can opener. Because when I was little and that hurricane came, it blew so hard that it blew out the electricity. And we did not have electricity for like 2 days. They had to fix it. So we had to have canned foods because we could not cook without our electricity. So that is why we need canned foods and a can opener. Lots and lots of bottled water, because sometimes when those hurricanes happen, it messes up the water and you have to be able to have clean, safe drinking water. So that's why I say have lots of bottled water. That's a way to keep safe during a hurricane. And make sure you have lots of batteries, because you need things like a radio so you can hear what's happening, and you need flashlights. So if your power goes out, you need to see what's going on in the dark. So my first graders, I told you that I was going to tell you about our extra credit today. Some of my morning groups, I already told you, and you're like, really, Miss Cuyler? Yeah, you're going to build a weather tool for me. Later on in your class, your Google Classroom, Miss Cuyler is going to upload videos on how to make one of these weather tools. And you can pick which one you would like to make. Now, I will give more instructions in our Google Classroom, and I can't wait to see, and I hope you take advantage of this opportunity. It's a way for you to get to have a hands-on experience with your science, especially because science is a live stream. So we don't get to interact and build things and make things, which is the funnest part of science. So, my friends, now is the time for me to send you your exit ticket. Today, you will be answering 2 questions about hurricane safety and preparedness, and then you'll be tracking the weather for today. I've been loving the weather pictures. And once again, if you don't want to draw a picture, that is fine. But I have been loving them. Very creative. And you guys have some skill on these Chromebooks. I see some suns with rays and grass and things like that. So you're very, very creative. I look forward to seeing you later if I haven't seen you. And if I already saw you today, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, my first graders.